Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, y'all. Nicole Roberts Jones here, and welcome to Bankroll Your Brilliance Thursdays here on blackdoctor.org. Beyond excited to be here with you. So, listen, as you come in, I want to ask you to do a couple of things. Number one, tell me your name and where you're from. As you see me look over here, I'm pulling up my video so I can see your comments here in Facebook. And even if you watch the replay, still tell me name and where you're joining from, right? The other thing I want you to do is if what I share with you adds value to you, I want you to below share it. Share with your network, share with your friends, share with your family, share with your colleagues. So my goal today is to give you the keys, the insight to grow a business alongside your 9 to 5. So listen, sorry. So listen, I don't call it a side hustle. Let me tell you why. Because I looked up hustle in the dictionary and in the definition, it has pimp and prostitute. Yeah, we're not pimping your gift. That is not what I'm going to teach you to do. So, I'm going to give you 5 insights to literally start your business now without leaving your 9 to 5. Okay. So before I do that, let me just give you the landscape. If this is your first time with me, tell me hello first time. If you've been here before, tell me, hey, I've been here before. So on my conversations with you on Thursday, I covered 3 areas. One is be the authority and really standing in the power of your gift. The second is knowing your value, and that covers a couple things. That could be work-life balance. That could be knowing how much to charge, knowing that people need you. And then the third area I cover is how to make multiple streams of income from your brilliance. So, of course, that's what we're talking about today. How do you get paid for what you know? So, with that, I thought before I give you the 5 steps to grow a business alongside your 9 to 5, I'm going to tell you the 5 reasons most people that I have the pleasure to meet used to be on the road, but this last year it's been virtually. When I'm out speaking and teaching and coaching, these are the 5 reasons people tell me they don't start. And you're going to see me look down because, look, I wanted to make sure I don't miss a reason. So I got them written down. And then I have your 5 steps, the 5 steps you need, the insight to grow it alongside your 9 to 5. Okay. And as I'm going, hi, Marie, tell me where you're from. Thank you for saying hello, right? Listen, y'all get to listen to me. At least you can say hi, right? If you have questions as I share, I want you to post, right? And by the way, if any of what I share with you, you have more questions, look, last week I did something called the hot seat. So every now and then I will do a hot seat session where I answer your questions. So I want you to email, see it below the screen below, send your questions to byb@blackdoctor.org. And you never know, I might feature you in your question for the week. All right. So with that said, I'm going to get started. Hey, Tracy, you guys tell me where you're joining from today. Hey, Valencia, good morning. Well, it's good afternoon for me. It's noon where I am. Where are you in the world? Who else is with us? Say hello. And I'll keep featuring you. I'll keep shouting you out. Hey, Nisi. Hey, 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 y'all. So let me get started because I want to go through the 5 reasons people don't start. And then I'm going to give you the 5 steps, the insight you need to start. You ready? You got a pen? Hey, Keisha in Dallas. Got a pen, y'all? Because let me tell you, if you don't know me, I'm all about implementation. I could care less if you're motivated or inspired because motivation and inspiration gives you nothing but hope. And hope without execution is hallucination. Hello, that's a quote I got from somebody. I don't remember where, right? So I need you to be able to implement from what I learned, what I teach you, what you learn from our segments. And so I want you to have a pen. Hey, Carmen and Marie in Valencia, in Ohio, South Carolina. Hey, Daphne in Wisconsin. Listen, you just missed the beginning. I don't call it a side hustle. I'm going to say it one more time for those of you that came in late. Let me tell you, be on time because I go right in at 12, right? I have 30 minutes to give you actionable insight. So I don't call it side hustle because I looked up hustle in the dictionary a couple years ago. And in the dictionary, in the definition of hustle, it had pimp and prostitute. Yeah, we don't pimp our gifts. No, no, no. Mm-mm. So I call it alongside. Okay. So with that, first, I'm going to tell you the 5 reasons most people don't start. Number one is fear of failure. Now, maybe some of you have started a business in the past and it didn't work. Or maybe you hear all these stories of all the people that have started a business and it didn't work. And I'm going to tell you the reason why most people's businesses fail is because they don't have the strategy to do it successfully. And in these segments, I'm going to give you as much strategy as I can. And then I'm always going to give you a free gift. So hang tight. I got a free gift for you today. That's going to give you more. Okay. So fear of failure. So what I've had to learn in my own business is every time I've had a failure, I find the lesson that I learned. Because have I failed in my business? Miserably. You guys missed my story. I told it last week. Go back and watch the replay. You can see it in the blackdoctor.org YouTube channel. Go back and watch the replay. So I failed miserably in my business for 17 years, but I'm gonna tell you, I learned so much in that failure that I propelled forward. It's almost like a rubber band. You know when you pull back a rubber band, you keep pulling that back and pulling it back. So I failed so hard that when I let go and I went forward, oh my God, my business grew exponentially. I went from barely making 5 figures to making 6 figures, multiple 6 figures. Okay. So failure can either teach you a great lesson or it can keep you stuck. You get to choose, either learn the lesson and move forward, or listen, it can also keep you in comfort and keep you where you are, meaning you never move forward because you're afraid to fail. I've had to learn in my business that I've had to do it afraid. Matter of fact, y'all that have don't know this, I'm a God's girl, so you're always gonna get a little Jesus when you're with me, right? When I think about anybody in the Bible that's done anything great, they had to do it afraid. Now, if you haven't heard about the story of Moses having to part the Red Sea, I'm gonna tell you, if God said, Nicole, I'm gonna give you a stick and all these people gonna follow you, I'd be like, you don't want, let's see, you don't want Bernadette to do it or Nisi or Marvin or Al or Daphne. Can they do it? I don't know, Lord. So Moses had to be afraid, 2,000 people behind him. He didn't know if it was gonna work. So fear can keep you stuck. You've got to be willing to do it afraid. So I could do a whole conversation on that. If you need more about that, again, send an email, byb@blackdoctor.org. Anything I'm sharing. If you need me to dig deeper, you're curious about it, you have questions, all you gotta do is write the subject questions and say, this is my question. I got you. I'll teach more on that. Okay. So they're scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Okay. So number two reason why people don't start their business is they don't have money to start. So this is why I tell you to do it alongside your 9 to 5. I'll tell you about that more when I give you the 5 insights to start. Okay. Number three, they don't want to change their lifestyle. I'm gonna tell you more about that in the 5 insights. But here's what I mean by that. As many of you have mortgage, you have a car note, you like to travel, and some of you have kids. And when you have kids, you need to buy groceries. Hello, come on, somebody. You got to eat. So this is why I encourage you and I teach all my clients how to start their business alongside their 9 to 5 because your lifestyle doesn't have to shift. Now you might have to sacrifice some things. Like that's when I started getting my nails done. I started thinking about what do I not need. So when grew my hair natural in the middle of it, I didn't realize I was gonna like my natural hair. I had to grow out my perm. How many of y'all know about growing out a perm? Right? So you might have to sacrifice some things. My lifestyle didn't shift. I still have a car that I love. I have a mortgage. I still travel, but this is, I travel more now. But when I was in my struggle mode, my lifestyle didn't shift. I had to make some decisions. And so you've got to be clear and strategic. And we'll talk about that in the insight in 1 second. Okay. Y'all with me? The third reason people don't start a business. I love it. Y'all tag your friends. I love it. I love it. I see you in Tennessee. Samantha. Did I say your name right? No idea where to start. Many people have so many ideas and so many thoughts and so many concepts, they don't know where to begin. Now, let me be honest with you. The insight that I'm going to give you on these Thursdays when I'm with you is all about bankrolling your brilliance. So, those of you that have a product based business, I cannot help you. So, if you want to make pens, you want to sell clothing, you want to sell, anything that rings, you want to sell anything that's product based, I can't help you. Because I'll tell you, doing a product based business is much more labor intensive than a brilliance based business. So anybody that takes their I call it intellectual property, your know-how to move someone's life or business forward. So accountants, lawyers, I'm talking to you, a coach, I'm talking to you. Those of you that have expertise from being in the industry for 20 plus years or so, yeah, I'm talking to you. A sales expert, maybe your personal trainer, your image consultant, real estate agent. These are all kind of clients that I've worked with. You're a social media expert. Those are all people that have an intellectual property based business, a service based business, because you're serving people from your intellectual property. You get that? So, because of that, you have all these ideas and you don't know where to begin. Okay. So, that is what I'm talking about. And what happens is when you're confused and you don't know where to start, you don't start. You sit in procrastination, you sit in the overwhelm. And so, one thing, and I'll talk about this in another episode. And again, if you need more on this, tell me because this is as much as I'm going to say. Send an email. You see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Is most people don't understand the power of the one thing they were born to do or be. One thing. There's a quote that says, Jack of all trades, master of none. And for many of you that have started businesses and they failed, it's because you've been trying to do too many things instead of being clear on the one thing. Listen, a confused mind doesn't buy. So if you're confused, trust that your ideal client is too. If you don't know the transformation you provide for people, no one else will. Okay, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Right. And then the fifth reason people don't start businesses is they don't know how to take they don't know how to take your brilliance. I type on my own notes and build a business from it, which is kind of like number four. Okay. So tell me which of those four might be you. Are you someone that's afraid to fail? You might be dealing with more than one of these. Are you afraid to fail? You don't have the money to start, so you haven't started. You don't want to change your lifestyle. You have so many ideas, you don't even know where to begin. Or you don't know how to take your brilliance and actually start a business from it. Tell me if you're one of those five. I want to hear. I love it, y'all. Are tagging your friends. I love it. I love it. I want to see where you are. Okay, as I begin to share insight with you to start a business. So, those are all the reasons, the five biggest, I think, that I hear of why people don't start a business. Okay. And again, if you need more of anything I'm sharing with you, because I'm giving you a great overview today, I'm going to dig deep into the five areas. Nisi said one through five. I know that's right. I'm going to give you insight, the five, I think, biggest steps. And then because I won't be able to share everything with you, I have a free gift. That's now scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Keisha says she's number five, afraid to fail. That's right, shot in so many ideas. Right. I can't you can change your lifestyle. Is that, or you just say you can't? So Samantha said number one, which is feel afraid, great content, but I thought this was Black Doctor. I thought this topic was about medical. This topic isn't. Here's the thing about blackdoctor.org. They're talking about your whole life, holistic life success. So I'm coming to help you make more money from your know-how. Here's the one thing I know. We're in COVID. The one thing that never gets canceled in COVID is your purpose, your brilliance. And so my goal every Thursday from 12 to 12:30 is to teach you how to bankroll it. All right. Sherry says number five. Antonio says, I agree. All right. So with that, let me give you the five steps that you must get clear on to start your business alongside, or five insights, whatever you want to call it. Y'all ready? Number one, don't quit your job. You know how many people tell you to quit your business to start your own business, quit your career, and that sets you up to fail. Now, so many people say step out on faith, but let me explain to you, there's a book called Proverbs in the Bible. That's a book of wisdom. So God wants you to have wise faith. And just to quit is, can I give it to you real? It's stupid. You've got to have strategy. I'm going to show you what that strategy looks like. In the book that's going at the bottom of your screen is going to give you more than what I'm giving you now, alongside my 925.com. Okay. So listen, when you want to build a business from your intellectual property, you've got to understand. I used to call my daytime job my investor. I now work in my business full time, but back when I started my business, I had a daytime job. And I used to call my business my investor. Why? Because it invested in me being able to have the capital. See, listen, and Mark Cuban talks about this on Shark Tank. By the way, if y'all don't watch Shark Tank on Friday nights, it's one of my favorites. Now, it's not a service-based business. Those people are product-based, but most of the investors, the first question to ask is, how much have you sold? How many units have you sold? So they want to see how much money you generate. So those of you that think you're going to the bank to get a loan, understand the bank is going to say, how profitable are you? If you can't prove that you've already made profit, you're not getting a loan. So in order for you to be able to start your business, you've got to pay for it yourself. And that's what Mark Cuban, he did this whole conversation. And Mark Cuban is one of the, he owns the Dallas Mavericks, but he's also one of the coaches on Shark Tank, if y'all don't know who that is. He gave this whole conversation around why you don't need a loan to start, why you shouldn't get one. And literally, I invested in me. I started saving parts of my paycheck so it could pay for my. And so I got really clear and strategic with how I spent my money. Some of you are spending money on things you don't even realize it. If you took a week and took $20 out, and that's it, and that was all you could spend for the week, I wonder if you'd run out of that by Tuesday. I know I did when I tried that. It was a real eye opener for me. Okay. So, number two, you got to be clear on how you are the answer to a need. So, what do I mean by that? When you start a business, it's not about you, it's about all the people who need you. So, when they see you as the answer, they will pay for it. When you're not clear, they won't see it. So you've got to understand your business needs to speak to the predictable result. So my predictable result is I help women, sorry men, but majority of my clients are women. I do work with a few good men. I help women create multiple streams of income from what they already know. Period. That's my predictable result. What I know is many women that come to me want to start a business, but one of those five things are in their way. That's where I got those five things from conversations I've had. And again, I do work with men. I would say I have 90% women, 10% men that I work with. So you've got to understand that you've got to build your business based on being an answer, not based on. It's so funny. I remember I was having this conversation a couple of weeks ago, speaking at an event. Somebody said, "Ouch." I was speaking at an event, and a woman was saying that she started her business because she saw this thing selling, and she was like, "Yes, I want to do it, but it's not working." I said, "Let me tell you why. Can I shift your mindset? Can you stop focus on selling and start focusing on serving? When you serve the people that need you, they're going to pay for it because they need it." So that is how you also begin to differentiate yourself in a crowded marketplace. When there are other people that do what you do, because there are going to be other people that do what you do, what differentiates you is how you do it. So when you get clear on who you be, and I'm going to say who you be, and how you be the answer, it shifts everything. And then number three, let me put my notes over here because I keep looking to the side. Number three is how do you package it? How do you package it? So this is where I talk about, one of the things I love doing with my clients is helping you make money while you sleep. So when you're working a business, when you're beginning a business alongside your 9 to 5, you have got to understand that, listen, I'm talking to you guys right now, and somebody's going through one of my programs and I'm not there. One of my favorite stories I love to tell is that I have a client in Singapore. She found me online. She went through my program online. And I was amazed. And then she hired me to coach her, to do some one-on-one coaching. I was amazed. But that's what I mean by making money while you sleep. So while you're in your office, while you're in a meeting at work, somebody's going through one of your programs and you're not there. When you have a business where you have to be present, you're capping off how much money you can make. In order to do that, you have to get clear on the answer you are and create a methodology from it. Just because you throw an online program together doesn't mean it's going to sell. You've got to get the clarity you need. Y'all get that? If you guys have questions, that's why I keep looking over to see if you have any questions, okay? So number one, don't quit. Call your daytime job your investor because it's investing in you growing your purpose-focused business. Number two, you've got to understand how you are the answer and only be that. Stop trying to be everything to everybody. When you do that, you become nothing to no one. So how are you the answer and to who? Be clear. Number three, how will you package it? Listen, you've got to have at least 4 streams of income. What most billionaires don't tell you is they have multiple streams of income. Those of you that were here with me last week, you heard me tell my story when I was struggling in my business. I only had 1 stream of income. That's why. Now I have at least 5 working on my 6th income. And I'm in multiple 6 figures, working on my $1 million year. Come on through, Lord, right? But I'm also trying to do it effortlessly. I don't want to work extra. I don't work on Fridays. Every now and then I do work a Friday. I only do client meetings Tuesday and Wednesday. See, I get to set my schedule. I get to have the quality of life I want, and I get to make money because I am packaging my brilliance in a way that I can create multiple streams of revenue from it. Do you get that? That was the reason I failed in my business, by the way, when I first started. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching you how to bankroll your brilliance because that is the game changer. Okay. Then the fourth thing you need, if y'all have questions, let me know, is you've got to measure success. So what do I mean by that? So many people start a business and they're not measuring their income, right? They're not figuring out how much money they will make quarter over quarter. They're not making plans, financial goals, right? So here's what I mean by that. If you right now make 500, no, let's say maybe you make 125,000, maybe you make 75,000 at your job, and you need that to maintain your life. When you start your business, you ain't gonna make 75,000. Let me just tell you up front, right? So you've got to make plans to get there, right? You've got to make predictable revenue plans. So once you get clear on the answer you are and you begin to build programs, you have your 5-year plan. I know that's right, Bernadette. Yep. And it's doable. It's doable. Listen, when I got clear, I quit my job in 6 months because I saw the pathway for me to make profit over and over, predictable income, not a guess. Not because you think it's going to sell, because I see it. I see revenue generating. I see my serve is bringing in sales. Okay. I'm looking at my nose, right? So once you determine, okay, I'm seeing this predictable revenue, and then you can scale it, you can see how money's coming in to generate that 75,000. Listen, I would say don't quit until you know you can make 140,000 a year. So you're doubling, you can pay yourself and you still have the revenue in your business. You need to know how much you need to make so you can pay for things. Like over time, as you scale your business, you're gonna have to hire a team. I have 8 people that work on my team. I gotta pay for that. And I gotta pay me. And I gotta be able to run my business. Y'all get that? So you gotta make a plan. If you know you need 75,000 to live, so you don't shift your lifestyle, because that's one of the things you want, then you don't quit your job until you have that predictable. Not because you made $75,000 once, because you could have had a good month and made $75,000 in a month. I've done that. I made over 100,000 in February. Great. But it's not till you see it happen every month or every quarter that you then quit. So make a plan and measure it. So you got to be clear. How do you measure success? How do you measure your 2 week notice plan? Right? And then the last one is, what's your give notice deadline? So if you give yourself, don't say a year, because then it's too much pressure in my humble opinion. If you do it in a year, great. I have a client who I was working with her. She was a university professor, tenured professor. She quit her job like 6 months after I worked with her because she saw the revenue coming in and it was consistent. And she had revenue in her pipeline. I have another client that left corporate and had revenue in her pipeline, but I said, you have revenue in your pipeline because people are excited. So either you got to make sure you drum up new contracts, or after that year, it's going to be gone. So that's why I suggest you have a plan to get to success. Those of you that know you need more, right? You need to know there are 3 things I teach you in this book. It's free, y'all. Go to alongside my nine, the number 9, see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen, 925.com. Grab that book. It'll give you even more insight. And here's the last thing I want to share with you. And I want to hey Lashanti girl. I want to make sure I answer your questions. Okay. Grab your free copy alongside my 925.com, which will walk you through 3 areas that I didn't get to drill deep in. And here's my commitment to you every Wednesday. I appreciate you, Daphne. Is that if you guys tell me your questions, I'm going to come back and I'll put the question email up again. I am always going to come back to pour into you. I'm going to give you everything you need around those 3 areas. Next week will be in area 2. But as you guys post questions, it tells me when I can do hot seats. So when I say hot seat, what it is, it's like an opportunity for me to coach you live. So you're sitting in a seat. So you just never know when I'm going to do a hot seat and feature your question. So again, let me change from the free gift to send your questions. There it is at the bottom of the screen, byb@blackdoctor.org. Now, here's the other thing I want you guys to know ultimately. And again, ask your questions. I'm wrapping, right? My goal is always to be here for 30 minutes. This is your lunch hour, depending on what coast you on. 30 minutes of activation during lunch. So you can bring your lunch and eat with me if you're on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, you might be eating your breakfast. In between, maybe you eating a snack. Maybe you drinking coffee. I don't know. But here's the thing I know. There are people that need that gift in you. And every day you hold up being the answer God created you to be in this world, you are late for work. So the excuses that I gave you at the beginning will hinder you from living into your abundantly above all. How do I know? If you didn't hear my story, go listen last week. I ain't gonna tell it every week, right? Is it better to plan to get out of debt first and then build your business? Such a great question. So let me explain to you this. Al said it's gym time. That's right. You can listen to me while you're working out, because this is working out your mind and you can be working out your body. So listen, Bernadette, such a good question. So the question is it good debt or bad debt? Now I'm not a financial expert on debt, but let me just say this. Good debt is things like student loans and when you're investing in yourself and your studies. Bad debt is when you're buying stuff you know you had no business buying, like that bad little bad pair of shoes. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You don't need a vacation that you know you can afford, and some of y'all it's a wedding that you had no business spending $50,000 on. You want to know how much my wedding cost? $4,000. Kid you not. Another whole conversation, right? So student loans is good debt because you paid, you invested in yourself. That's not bad debt, right? You guys Google good debt versus bad debt, because even as you grow your business, I'll be honest with you, you've got to invest in your business. So I had to listen. When I hired my first coach, I told this story last week. I put her on my credit card. I couldn't afford it, but I couldn't afford not to do it. Had I not invested in myself in that moment, I wouldn't be here now telling you I'm a multi 6-figure CEO. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be here teaching you. I'm so glad, Brenda. So glad. Right? Make sure you guys send your questions and then grab the book. Scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So, with that, that is all I have for today. Ultimately, my goal, my calling in this thing called life is to hold the space for you to get paid for what you know. So, if this is valuable to you, do two things. Share at the bottom value got out of today. And then there's a button, those of you that are here live on Facebook, you can share it. If you come back later and watch it on YouTube, you guys can still share from YouTube. Share it. Share this. Because the more people that get the equipment that they need to go after their abundantly above all, listen, can you imagine what this world will be like when we all stand in the full power of our gifts and talents? Can you imagine what this world would be like when we set our soul on fire and do work that does that? Can you imagine? And so that's my greatest desire is to get to 1 million people, 1 million women, and really help you live into all that you are purposed to be and get paid for it, right? So I'll be here back next Thursday, 12 p.m. EST. Tell a friend, share, and then grab the free ebook again alongside my 9 to 5. And then this is the last time I'll share this email. Questions. So if anything, while you're reading the ebook, you have questions about, right, that I can coach you, share it. Go to BYB at blackdoctor.org. BYB stands for Bankroll Your Brilliance. And we get every question and I will answer them live on my hot seat days, right? At least once a month, I want to do a hot seat. At least once a month. I might do twice a month if y'all send us my questions, right? So, with that said, y'all, that's it for this episode. Have a phenomenal rest of your Thursday. I'll see you back here next Thursday, 12 p.m. EST, for Bankroll Your Brilliance Thursdays. I'm Nicole Roberts Jones. It's my honor and privilege to serve you. I'll see you soon. Bye, y'all.